Hey, everybody, welcome to Ronline Report. Today's guest I've known for a very, very long time. He's one of the OGs in this sport. It's been around forever. He's one of the strongest bodybuilders who has ever walked this earth. Please welcome AllMax athlete all the way from Texas, Johnnie O Jackson. What's up,
That's
man?
right.
So, yeah, some really good news. You're going to be back in the pages of Muscular Development pretty soon. With your column, it's I don't know. We'll talk. It used to be called the Strong Survive. I kind of like keeping that name, but if you have
No, I love it.
Strong Survive, and I got one wacky. I don't want I don't want the viewers to get too caught up in the stuff I'm talking about. But I just did a back training article for MD. It's going to be on the March issue, and I don't pick the pictures they use. I don't even suggest. And who do you think they can? Can we get to see? It's called back.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I love that picture. Per Banal did that.
Yeah, well, that's your back, though. I'd know that back anywhere.
Yeah.
The barbell tattoo and everything. But,
yeah, I remember when he did it, for sure, when he took the picture.
So I'll be honest, I hadn't even thought about you really in a while, up until a couple months ago when they said they were bringing back the Masters Mr. Olympia. And you got to be at least 45 years old. I'm thinking, who is in that age range that would still have a chance at looking really, really good? And you were one of the first people that came to my mind. And I was looking for an excuse to interview you, and here we are today. So it's happening this August, in Romania.
That's right. Yeah.
Have you applied? Have they reached out to you? Because I would love to see you on that stage.
Yeah, nobody reached out to me. And I haven't applied yet, and I'm mulling it over. It's still in the works. Where I'm totally thinking about it. I miss competing. You know, like you would miss your left hand if it wasn't attached to your body anymore. You know, so I really, honestly, I'm not one of those guys that are like, nah, I'm happy in retirement, which I am happy in retirement too. But hell, I miss the stage so much. I miss the journey. I miss the posing. I miss the crowds. You know, I miss, feeling like I'm significant amongst, my peers and fans. It definitely, when it first came about, just rumors, I was like, whoa, are you kidding me? And I have to admit, when it first came about, I was, way more hype about it then than I am now. It's been a little while because it was kind of like, yes, no. Then I got worn out by it and was like, oh, well, move on. I'm dad now, so let me do my dad stuff. But I have to say, since they announced it, and I didn't think I was going to come around, but each day, more and more I'm thinking about it. And I figure by mid-February, I would be in or out. By mid-February, I have to, say yes or no. You know what I mean? So, like I said, more and more every day, I'm leaning towards yes.
Yeah, because you weren't one of those guys who just did a show every once in a while. You competed. You were a competitor. You did I don't know how many pro shows, like 40. You think 50?
No, 80.
You did 80 pro shows. My goodness.
I've done over 80 pro shows. Yeah.
Okay, so my stats are going to be way off because I went to musclememory.com. I could only see 6 wins, and I think you might have won more than 6 shows.
7.
7 shows. Okay. What's the one I missed? So you won 2006 Texas Pro and Montreal Pro, 2007 Atlantic City Pro in your home state of New Jersey, 2012 FIBO Germany, 2017 Toronto Pro. I was at that one. 2017 Arnold Classic South Africa. Did you win one in Romania too?
San Antonio, the Wings of Strength.
Okay. So 7 pro shows, and I counted 13 second places. So there's maybe more than that.
Yeah, more than that.
A lot of second places.
It was a lot of fucking second places.
I know it sucks because you're
Darren Charles. He was my Achilles heel. Yeah. Son of a gun, man. I was like, why the hell are you here again? Yeah. He was that Montreal Pro, that 2006 was the first time I finally beat him. That was my first win, and it was against him. I was like, finally, man.
Yeah. Yeah. He was called the king of the $10,000 shows.
Yeah. That's without a doubt.
Because he never did well like the Arnold Olympia typically, but the smaller shows, he cleaned up.
He had to make his money. And he said he set out a certain amount that he was going to, make in competing. And he didn't stop competing until he made that amount he sought out that year to make.
Yeah. So let's see. I want to remind the readers, we're doing this on Wednesday, the 25th. On what day is the 30th? Your birthday is
Monday.
Monday. So this might come out shortly after your birthday. Happy birthday, Johnny. You'll be turning 52 years old.
52.
You're still a kid, man. 52 is young.
Well, it's a blessing because my oldest brother, he didn't make it to 52, So with having that in my family, and in my life, everything's, you keep in reality, and this is truly a blessing, not something to, look at like, oh my God, I'm 52. Well, in a way it is, but for me, it's more of a blessing. Like, hey, it could have been, the latter.
Yeah. Did you have a brother or cousin when you were young that passed away real young?
No, my brother.
Oh, so there's another brother that passed away young.
No, just the one brother. Yeah.
Okay. But he made it to 52?
No, he didn't make it this far. From what I'm saying, he was 30.
Oh, 30. Geez. That's
so
too young.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So this is a blessing. When people say, oh my God, you're 52. I'm like, absolutely. Thank Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Because young guys, I'm sure you don't get the crap like I do because you're Johnny Jackson, but young guys will say, you're the old dude. You're the old dude. I said, well, you got two choices, kid. You're either going to get old like me or you're going to be dead young. So
pick your poison.
Keep talking
pick your poison, buddy.
Man. So the last time I saw you or anybody saw you on stage was 2020. It wasn't that long ago. It was the Arnold Classic in Chicago Pro. And that was not the typical Johnny Jackson at those shows. I remember being at those shows. I don't think we talked, but I knew something was off. I don't know if you were like not mentally feeling it, if you were physically, your body was having issues. What was going on? Because the last time I saw you, that was not the physique that I was used to seeing for years and years prior to that.
Well, the Arnold in 2020 that I remember, it's slightly off. I can't remember what it was. My timing was off. It had been a minute, and coming back and kind of excited and try to make things perfect, and my timing was just off. That's all it was. So it was Chicago, then Arnold. Well, I did.
Did you know one?
Right? Yeah, because I did one after the Arnold. I did, and it was it was the Chicago Pro in Atlanta.
Yeah, right. That's right. That was COVID year, 2020.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And that was better than the Arnold.
Yeah.
But I wasn't filled out all the way. I wasn't filled out all the way. Again, my timing was off. So I was a little bit more on the flat side. At the Arnold, I was a little on the watery side. So I tried to adjust, and just the timing was off, no more, no less, no big excuse for it. Just as well as you can do everything perfect, and then mess up the timing on dropping your water or carbing up and, miss the mark.
Yeah, so we've all seen these pictures and videos from guys in their hotel room, sometimes just a couple hours before they hit the stage. They look perfect. Yeah. And then I'm sitting there in the front row and they come on like, what happened to this dude?
Yeah. No, you know what? That happened to me at it was the Ironman. It was one of my very first shows. That was the very first Ironman I did. It was in 2004, I want to say. Yeah. I want to say I'm pretty sure it was in 2004. And I remember I woke up and looked in the mirror and I was like, holy crap. No, it was that night. I woke up, went in the bathroom. I was like, if I go in like this, I'm winning this show. Like I was hard I was shocked. But then I felt a little bit of, cramping and stuff like that. And I started getting worried. So I started sipping a little Pedialyte, sipping a little bit at a time. Well, in doing that, dumbass, I ended up spilling over because that was all night long. And I thought I was doing a little bit. But then that morning I got up, I was fine. But when I got to the venue, start moving around and start pumping up and moving things around, it spilled me. I looked awesome still.
Yeah.
Walked out on stage. Troy Alves was in the audience up front. Walked out on stage. Remember Wolf, the photographer?
Oh yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
the photographer Wolf.
Yeah,
He was like, I got you, Dexter, and there was somebody else. I got the top three, and I was like, oh yeah,
Mm,
And I went out on stage, stood there. All of a sudden, I felt my stomach go,
yeah.
and I
Yeah.
was like, what? And it just my stomach popped out. I started sweating. It took a couple seconds that I sweat, and then it started drying up, and I started getting hard again. So
Yeah.
Troy was like, "It's okay, Johnny. I saw it. You okay? You're tightening it up again. It was just a little excess."
Yeah.
And so I stood there like, "Yeah, I'll be okay." Then it did it again, and it just
Mm.
I lost it.
Yeah, people that have never tried to hit that perfect peak, they don't understand how tricky. It's like such a balancing act. They have no idea.
It really is.
Your odds of either spilling over or flat are like 90% that you're going to go one way or the other. To hit it perfectly is so hard. Even these coaches, the best coaches in the world, don't even have anywhere near 100% track record getting athletes.
Oh yeah, no. I work with some of the best guys in the world: Chris Aceto, Charles Glass, Milos, Dennis James, and yeah, I mean, those guys they can get you as close to perfect, in the timing as you can, but if you sit down and talk to them, they would tell you it's a hat trick.
Yeah.
It's still a hat trick,
So, those 2020 shows, it was really just a prep issue where you didn't time the prep correctly. I'm curious as to why you didn't keep going. Was it because this was COVID and everything was all messed up and you didn't see any point? What was going through your head?
No, it was just I had a brain fart, and I had got back with gas. We went over to China, that Iron World Tour in China.
Yeah.
We trained with this guy, myself and Branch Warren. We trained with a guy that was China's strongest man and stuff like that. We kicked his butt and all his buddies. I mean, within the third exercise, they were sitting down, sweating. A couple of them was throwing up. Like we went to town, and doing that, it just, you know what I mean? It just sparked something in my mind. And, me and Branch just, we always had that chemistry. And, those 10 days there, we trained like animals, and it just all came back. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the Arnold. And Branch was like, I'll train with you. Let's go. And we just went after it, man. And that's some of the problem too. It wasn't, calculated. Then sit back and get calculated, set my, standards, goals, and all that stuff you're supposed to do before you start going down the road on something. I kind of just jumped in and, going off of like I was 20 years old again, and, first doing it for the first time, but it was pure love. Also, I have to say, it was just the pure love, the purity of, feeling, the camaraderie with Branch. And then, like I said earlier, I miss it so much. So it was like, everything just was, I thought was, the perfect time to do it again. But,
Yeah, but so once those shows are over, though, you figured that was it. I don't want to do this for a while again.
Well, yeah, because like I said, my time was off. So, you know what I mean? I got up there and kind of like, how I'm trying to say it without cursing.
You can curse a little bit here. It's okay.
So so I screwed the pooch pretty much, and you know what I mean, and how bodybuilders, how we are, and got down on myself and like that was dumb. What the hell is your problem? You're old. Take your ass. Stay in retirement, and focus on your business and stuff like that, and the family. So I turned tail and walked away.
Yeah. How old are your kids now? You have a young one, don't you?
Yeah, I have a 14-year-old. She just turned 14, December 30th, my youngest. And then my son is 28. My daughter's 29.
Yeah.
And
what a time to be raising a teenager. My goodness. God bless you. But,
tell me about it. It's scary, man. But she's awesome. I mean, the world, it is what it is. But you got to, stick with your standards, teach them, right from wrong, and, to have pride with what they do and carry themselves a certain way, and trust in them that they'll make the right choices. I always look at my kids and, instead of making choices for them, I'll give them choices, and hopefully they'll make the right one. And if they do, I continue on letting them make those choices, making choices for themselves. And I tell them, I only take it away from you. You know, you're the only one that can make me take that away from you. You know, so you know what I mean. You got to trust in them that they'll do the right thing, and 9 out of 10 times they will. But you never know.
Keep her off TikTok. So you mentioned training with Branch, and man, I'd say the two most famous training duos in bodybuilding history are Arnold and Franco, and we have very little footage of them training together. It's just some pumping iron here and there.
Right.
You and Branch, we have hours and hours of awesome videos from Gas channel, from the MD used to do videos. There's a lot of people have seen your training videos, his training DVDs. So I first thing I want to know is, do you guys still train together?
No, unfortunately, it had to. We're, like I said, dads now, and so life takes us in different directions for sure.
Yeah. And the second question is, you're known for that training style. They call it like the Branch and Johnny training style. Do you still train like that?
Absolutely, man.
Okay, God bless.
Absolutely, 100%. All that shit that was said when I was younger, I'm not going to be able to move. Yeah. I'm going to be hurt. Bob Chicarillo is one of the first names come up in my head because he was on my ass. What are you doing? You need to stop that heavy squat. You need to, and I'm still heavy squatting, and I don't deadlift as heavy, as much, but I never did, honestly. I used to deadlift only when I decided to compete in it. And so I would pick a certain amount of time to train myself up for it. But other than that, I usually don't do deadlifts at all. So
that's crazy. Because you used to do just deadlifts.
Yeah.
Those are the meets. Didn't you only do deadlifts in a lot of meets?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because when I would fail at a bodybuilding show, that's the biggest thing, too, that I don't know if anybody knew. Some people who really know me know. But the whole powerlifting thing, one of the big things was when I would fail at a bodybuilding show and not win or come in a horrible place, 15th or 9th or 10th or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's hard, man, because you worked your butt off to get on that stage, and then to fail like that, even though some people, oh, you looked awesome, that was good, play my ass. If I didn't win, it's what a waste, So I should be really depressed and in my feelings. And the way to get out of that, I will go, as soon as I get home, I will go online, find a powerlifting meet, the very first one, and jump in it, because I know nobody was going to beat me. So then I will win it and be like, okay, let's go back to, what bodybuilding show I'm going to do, because I'll totally forget what I just did. You know what I mean? And focus on, I just won that. So now I'm a winner. Here we go. Let's go back to training.
Yeah. So man, strength wise, I mean, what would you say? Let's say your peak was what age? I don't know, 35 or something. When do you feel like you were strongest in your life?
Every day.
So I mean, are you still using the same weights you did like 10, 20 years ago?
No, of course not. Of course not. But it's because I don't want to. Mm-hmm. I think if I focused on it and wanted to, I would. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So that's, it's crazy how you say shoulders, lower back, knees, everything. You're fine. You're not hobbling around. You look like you're in a regular chair, not a wheelchair right now.
Dude. 100%. Still run a mile. Still can run a mile. Yeah. Not a problem.
Yeah. Because I never set out in my head. I never posted it or wrote about it, but I always in my head said, Branch and Johnny are going to be so messed up when they're like 50 years old. They're not going to be able to move. They're going to be like in bed with people having to bring them their food and change their diapers.
Yeah. You weren't the only one. There's plenty. There's more like that than not. But I worked on a farm when I was like 7, 8 years old. I worked on a farm and, stacking boxes, peach boxes, full peach. I mean, I was the littlest kid on the line, and at the end of the line, stacking on pallets, and I was stacking higher, taller than me. I would have to get things over my head and like get them on top, because it was 7 high. Oof. And it was way taller than me. So, but I was back there doing it all day long.
Yeah. I remember you started weight training, like, was it like 11 or something. It was really young. How old were you?
Oh, 8 years old.
8 years old. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was, you know, it was hard because I had cement weights at the house, and where I had an axle, you know, from a car, and I had all kind of, you know, whatever we put together and put up in the attic and go up in the attic where it's hot as all get out. And I just, you know, lift, you know, and that's where it came from. And I got it from my brother, the one that passed away. He wanted to turn pro. I mean, that's why when that happened, I got out the military and I pursued turning pro because it was something we were doing together, you know? And so for me, it was just mimicking him, trying to be like him, you know? So yeah, I never thought about it. I enjoyed it. And then also football. I played football and I wanted to get stronger and bigger and hurt people, you know, in football. So it's got to lift and get big.
Yeah. Because I mean, you know, typically, what position did you play?
Running back.
Okay, well, you don't have to be like 7 feet tall for that, but still.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, no, not at all. Just wide and they used to call me GOAT because I used to, it was horrible because when we played flag football, you know, out in the field and they would hand off the ball, I would try to find someone. And usually it's the weakest guy on the field, of course. And I would try to find them and then run after him. I duck my head and he'll run away and I'll be chasing him. Instead of trying to score, I'm chasing this guy because I want him to run into me. And it was a mess, man. What a mess.
I remember years ago we wrote, I don't know if it was a shoulder or back article because traps could have been either one. But I remember you telling me you were a kid in the gym. I don't know how old, like 12. I don't know. You couldn't have been that young. They wouldn't let you in a commercial gym at like 8 or 9 years old, I don't think. But I remember you telling me you were like 12 or 13 and you were shrugging however many, is it 7 or 8 plates?
Yeah, as many plates fit on the bar I had, and I'm shrugging. And that's where I got these traps. I had no idea. I was building. I swear to I had no idea I was, you know, building traps the way I build them. But it was something I can do. And people were like, holy shit, look at this little kid. And so it was like after every workout, I'll be in the corner. Boo, boo, boo.
You know, because you were always known for your back in bodybuilding, but the traps in particular, because I'm trying to think of anyone else that was ever known for traps like that. And nobody even comes to mind. It was always just Johnny Jackson in the traps.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you could say best body parts of all time, you got that one locked down. Back, we can argue.
I'll take it. Well, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, back's probably you, Ronnie, Joel Stubbs, Storian.
Oh God, yeah.
There's a few guys with awesome backs, but
absolutely.
Yeah, because I remember one picture I took backstage at New York Pro. I don't know what year it was. It was the lighting. Remember at the Tribeca, the backstage lighting had skylights. It was freaking killer. And
and it's hot as all get out.
It was. So you were pumping up, and I took a picture from the back at an angle, and everyone thought it was Photoshop. I'm like, guys, I don't know how to do Photoshop. Are you crazy? You got to barely work a cell phone. But I guess I want to ask you, because you've been training now for over 40 years. What was it, like 40? Do you still have the same fire, the same train? Because that's a long time for a human being to be in the gym lifting weights.
That's a good question, for sure. Man, when I decided to, you know, stop competing, and I built a gym. I opened up my own gym, and as I was, under construction and stuff like that. I mean, I was like, I didn't. That was the last thing I wanted to do was work out. You know, it had gotten so bad probably about a month into it. That I was just thinking about the gym. I'll be like, I mean, not make me sick, but be like, there's no way. I felt like I was in a car crash after every workout, literally, with me and Branch together, man. God, I don't even know how we endured all that crap for so many years, because I honestly hurt. I mean, the only time I didn't hurt throughout the day was when we worked out, because I didn't have time to hurt because we're going 100 miles an hour. Wow. Right after we're done and I'm driving home, it's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? You know, the adrenaline going away, and it all just settle in. And I would be in my lazy boy, just a vegetable, you know? So yeah, it had enter my mind, like, I don't want to feel like that anymore. Like, I'm done. I'm not competing. There's no reason for me. And that was the reason why I did that, because I was competing and I wanted to be the best. Like, I was going to will it one way or the other. I was going to look the way I was supposed to, no matter how much I hurt, it didn't matter. But afterwards it does, and you feel it. And I stopped probably several months. I didn't work out. Of course, I owned the gym. I had to go to the gym, but I would train people. And actually my training skills, went through the roof, because I focused on, my clientele and stuff like that. And I came up with all these different, concentrating on angles and mechanics and, leverage and all that kind of stuff made me such a better trainer. Because in my mind, I think that was one of the reasons why I was hurting so much as well, is some of the stuff wasn't done correctly. So I'm messing up other things, even though I'm doing biceps, my glutes are hurting, you know what I mean? Because I'm doing them incorrectly, So for me, one of the things was correct all this stuff, and don't put it on someone else. So I really became a really, really good trainer in helping people in that way, by, concentrating on mechanics and doing stuff correctly, So I think now, how they say, only if I knew what I know then, it would be, back then, it would be totally different. And so now I do know. And God somehow made it, for me to circle back around and maybe accomplish what I dreamed about accomplishing. It's not the Open Olympia, but it's still Mr. Olympia.
Sure.
So I mean, and that's one of the things that I think about each day, or been thinking about each day, that we have sections of time in our life that we can accomplish certain things, and once that time is over, it's like playing football in high school, college. Want to get to the NFL at a certain time, that's over. That's gone for me. I can't get that back. Same thing with open bodybuilding and becoming Mr. Olympia. That's not going to happen. That's Pat. But I could become Master Mr. Olympia at a sport that I love, that I poured my soul into. Have an opportunity to actually, become the epitome of the sport that I love. And it's like, why wouldn't I at least try? You got the chance to do it. Not that it'll happen, but you know what I mean? Will it make sense to me if I don't even try to do it?
Yeah. But, it's funny. You say if I do now, but I wonder, because I've talked to Branch about this too. And, he doesn't think he would have ever had that look. And you had a look like that. There's a look that guys like you, Ronnie and Branch, people that train very, very heavy with very, what's a nice way to, ballistic sounds bad. How would you say it?
Not really.
Okay, ballistic style. It was very fast reps.
Right.
But that's what built that density that we don't see on too many other people. So I don't know if training any other way, you would have been able to achieve that look that you had.
I agree. I don't know. I really don't know, but I enjoyed it. That's the biggest thing. I didn't enjoy, because I train with me, Milo's style of training, Dennis' style of training. I've done those, different styles of training, of course. I always mention, there's 50 million thousand ways to work out. You got to find out which one works for you and changes your body. And that I enjoyed, and it changed my body. So no matter what anybody was saying, I mean, I was in, even though it was hell, and I'm telling you how bad I hurt. When I walked in the gym and saw Branch and we trained, I'm getting goosebumps. It was the best in the world. I mean, I didn't have to be anywhere else. You know what I mean? I could have died after a workout and been like, I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, people don't realize, because, we see it in the videos, but I trained legs with Branch once. I could not keep up with the guy. I did my best, but it's the same style that you did with him. It was a lot of volume. It was heavy weights, a lot of reps, and there was barely any rest. It's bang, bang, bang.
Barely.
There's like no time to recover. It's just bam. And I'm like, how is this guy? And we had gone to two stores. He was working with Gaspari at the time. We'd done two we've been driving around to nutrition supplement stores all day. This was at like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. Didn't matter. Yeah, you guys,
Doesn't matter.
You guys were machines back in the day. Cool.
Got to get it done. Got to get it done for sure.
So I see the AllMax shirt. How did you become part of the AllMax team?
Oh my God, man. Yeah. Well, this is weird. It's kind of weird. So I was with Mutant, and they stopped the contract and stuff like that. And it wasn't really a great way to do it. I was kind of disappointed, in the way that it ended, but we mended fences since then. I talked to most everybody and stuff like that, but it was kind of really disappointing to me, man. And it was like, wow, this is the way really it is after all these years. And I thought, my age, like, that's it, my, sponsorship teams are, behind me now. Let's move on. But I was connected to this, or I was on this app called Open Sponsorship, and been on it for years. And I got on it actually when I built my gym because it was good for that. And so what it is they connect athletes with people who are looking for athletes to promote their items. So it could be shoes, it could be watches, could be any kind of item, whatever.
Yeah.
It is. So I was looking when I got an email from there and it said, nutrition company looking for a pro athlete to do 5 videos. I think it was like $2,500 for 5 videos. So I was like, shit, that's what I do, Yeah. And so I looked it up and it was AllMax. And I was like, oh, okay, I know who that is. And so I filled out the information and submitted it. So Matt, I can't think of Matt's last name right now. I'm sorry, Matt. He's probably going to see this and be like, you asshole.
Max, that's him.
Matt. His name is Matt, and he lives in Canada. And he was with AllMax at the time, and he was with me in Mutant, actually. And so when I submitted the contract, he called me on my phone, and I looked at the phone. I was like, Matt, what does he call? I should look on my phone and look at his last name. I was like, what's he called me for? I haven't talked to this guy forever. Yeah. So I answered it. He was like, hey, Johnny. He was like, yo, man, your contract came across, not contract, but application came across, my desk. I was like, really? He was like, yeah, for AllMax. I was like, yeah, I just submitted it. Wow. And he was like, oh, man, yeah, I'm going to pick you, right? I was like, shit, you better, And so he was like, yeah, do the videos. And I was like, hey, I said, at the end of these 5 videos, they're going to offer me a contract, by the way, And he was like, I believe it. And so he talked to Matt, who is the head guy there at AllMax, and said, hey, Johnny Jackson, I know him, this, that, and the other. And so Matt told me that he told Matt, he was like, well, Johnny's like 50 years old, like, how's that going to work? Yeah. And Matt was like, no, just give him a chance, you'll see. And so I sent them the first video, and they were like, holy crap. And so I did the other ones, and sure shit, at that 5th video, they called me up and was like, hey, we want to offer you a contract if you want to come on the team. And it's been over 2 years now. Wow.
Yeah. Congrats, man. Not too many 50-year-olds getting offered contracts in supplement industry.
God is good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So give me your top 3 favorite products that you use all the
time. The ISOWay Dreamsicle is the best. Orange Dreamsicle. Love it.
Sounds good.
Love it. Impact Pump. Love it. And I do it while I'm working out. I actually drink, and not before, but while I'm working out. That's how good it is. That it works. And I think it's better because while you're, pumping, the insulin spike, from it actually, gathers everything up and shoves it into the working muscle. So love it. And then Igniter, the pre-workout also.
Yeah. I mean, Milos is a huge proponent of drinking thing, intra-workout nutrition. So,
well, that's where I learned it from, and it works.
Yeah. I mean, clearly it caught on because everyone's doing it nowadays, man. So this is exciting. So are you going to put in an application for the Masters? Because I think you have to apply for it.
Yeah, I got to figure it all out. I'll have to call the IFBB office, and and I actually have the last few weeks I've called and tried to get in touch with Teresa to call, but she's been out of the office or something. So hopefully one day I'll get to talk to someone soon so I can get it hashed out.
And we need you on that stage, Sean. Come on.
I think so for sure. I'm like I said, man. How many times in your life do you actually get an opportunity, to circle around and do something positive? And people have had my back for years. The fans and family, and the great shout outs and the great engagements and following me and all that kind of stuff. And I think this is my way also to give back to them, in a way of it's never too late. Don't ever give up. Don't give up your dream. Believe in God because He'll make a way for you, even when you don't think there is a way. He'll make a way. So just because stay strong and stay focused.
It would be a huge inspiration to so many guys who are over 40 who think, my glory days, I'm never going to look good again, and I encourage you're going to do it anyway. But I mean, I would do like progress report. I would document the whole journey. Just it's going to be so inspirational to so many people, and I definitely want to follow your training.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it'll get on there and be like 0.1 follower.
No, come on, man. No, come on.
Negative 0.75. No.
Well, that's exciting, and I'm glad to see you back at MD because you were with MD for a while, and I always enjoyed it.
That was, of course, that was my prime. It was, you guys made me look good. You know what I mean? You guys made me significant. To have a name like that behind you, how could you not be considered? And it just, the importance of having backup. And good backup, not, some, rinky dink or whatever, John Doe, whatever, trying to be whoever. We got you. I had you and muscle development and, man, yeah.
Some of those pictures Per Bernal took of you are just, they're still iconic. People still find them online and still look at those before they go work out.
Yep, for sure.
Especially on back day. and training intensity, all you got to do is go to YouTube and put in Branch Warren, Johnny Jackson. It's going to pull up stuff that's going to blow your mind, guys. If you haven't seen these videos from those two, you have to see it to believe it. Because like I remember seeing one of your workouts on paper. I don't know if it was you or Branch ran down a leg workout that Brian put you through at Metroflex. I said, this doesn't even seem, no human beings could do this. This is ridiculous. It was like
insane.
It was like squats, leg presses, superset with squats, and you had to go in the back and push like a sled with 1,000 pounds around the parking lot. It was a bunch of ridiculous stuff. But I guess you actually did it. So
yeah, man, it's just insane. I had real quick. I had a client one time, and this was when I was getting ready for the Arnold in 2020. I just started training this guy, and he was always I want to train with y'all. So sure, it was back day, and I was like, come on down, meet us there, Metroflex, whatever like that. The next day, because I trained his wife too, the next day his wife came in and was like, what did you do to my husband?
No.
What do you do to my husband? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, he can't move, And he said, what I'm getting to is, he said that like I got to the gym, then he got to the gym. We walked in, then Branch got there, and he said he don't know when we did it, but behind his back somehow we had to take something. He was like, I don't know what it was, I don't know what it is, but they had to take something because it is not humanly possible to train that heavy, that hard, that fast. He was like, I was standing there and I was like, I can't, there's no way these guys, they had to take something before we started, and I just laughed. I was like, whatever, what the hell am I going to take?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's just, you guys were rare specimens, true workhorses. Like I said, just trying to keep up with Branch. And I know that's the style you guys use. I was like, there's like no rest. It's just there's literally
in and out.
Yeah, it's most people would need 3 hours to do what you guys do in 1 hour because they would need time to check and lay on the ground between sets and try to start breathing again. So yeah,
and that's what we tell people. This other guy, I can't remember his. God, I'm horrible with names, but he's from Canada. He was a mutant, and oh man, I almost said his name. This guy's like 6'6", through close about 290. He was a client of mine for a while, but he came and worked out, did arms with us. And I told him in the beginning, I was like, man, it's not the fact that the weight, because we don't expect you to do the same weight. We don't try to make you do the same weight. It's the time in between you have to lift that's going to kill you, you know, because you're exhausted trying to catch your breath. And it's time for you to go again.
Go again. Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? The training style that you and Branch followed for those years, as much as so many people talk shit about it and probably still do, man, it worked. It worked. You can't argue against results. I always say that no matter what you think of somebody's training style or diet, if they look a certain way, it worked for them. So you can't argue. You cannot argue with results. You can't. Maybe it won't work for you, but you can't argue. It worked for them. Yep. Look at them.
And then it's the reverse because of Dexter. Do you know the extreme from us over to Dexter? And this son of a gun work out a couple days a week. You know, a lot of the shows, the weigh-in, he walks in with a whole cheesecake, you know, his pimp walk with his cheese, and we're all looking like, you asshole. Yeah. And he looking with a smirk, and you're like, really? Yeah. And it worked for him.
Yeah. I remember, I won't bore anybody too much longer, but I remember Flex Wheeler when he came back from his broken neck. I think it was a 95 Ironman. I think it was a 95. He was eating backstage pizza out of a box. Like, you know, everyone else has got their little rice cakes and they're like starving. He's shoving whole slices of pizza down his throat. Yeah.
It's sickening, man.
He looked awesome. I think, he won. He won the show. So there you go.
I'm sure.
Good Lord. All right. Well, man, excited to have you back at MD. Excited that you're thinking about the Masters Olympia. I really, really hope that comes true. You're one of the few guys I'd be really looking forward to see again on that stage, because I know you could still pull it together. And you were a fan favorite for many years. You still are, you know.
Yeah, and I will. I mean, if I'm going to do it, then I can't be no less than, you know what I mean? Yeah. Going for the title. Period. Well, is the last chance? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Last chance, buddy.
Well, it's going to be. I know it's going to be a great show because it's in Romania. Jake Wood and I think Tim Gardner, they're going to co-promote it. They do that. I don't know if you've seen the show that they do, the Romania Muscle Fest. Dude, the stage and everything looks just like the Olympia. It's enormous. They make that thing look like a legitimate Olympia. It's going to be done right. It's going to be, you're going to feel like Mr. Olympia if you win that.
Yeah, I have no doubt. You know, and you just made me get goosebumps again talking about that. You know, it's just, but you got to be smart, you know, patient, and calculating. Because when I wasn't, you saw the results, you know, and we don't want that.
All right. Well, I'm looking for this comeback, man. I'm going to be paying close attention, as will a lot of your fans. So that's it, man. Thank you so much, Johnny, for taking the time. Welcome back to MD. Welcome back to competitive bodybuilding, all that good stuff, man. And they can follow you online. It's Johnnie O Jackson, right? On Instagram?
Yeah, that's right.
Johnnie O Jackson. Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do. Same thing, Johnnie O Jackson. Just, you know, type in the name. And like I tell people, you know, that some people get excited. Oh my God. I'm like, it's only Johnny. That's all.
Well, subscribe to his channel, guys, but make sure you subscribe to this one too if you're not already. Of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's it, man. Thank you so much, Johnny. It's been awesome catching up, and we'll be in touch because you're back, baby.
That's right. And thank you, Ron. And you look good, by the way. Hadn't changed except for the better. So it's a pleasure for me to be talking to you and seeing you and, you know, sharing, you know, this content with you, you know, with that to everybody. So it worked in the past. I can't see it not working now.
Yeah, I mean, you're great to work with. I always loved working with you. So that's it, guys. Well, thank you all for watching the Ronline Report with this man, Johnnie O Jackson. And we'll see you right here next time. Bye-bye.
Boom.
And hey, did you like that video? Smash that like button, subscribe to MD, and please comment down below. Thanks for watching.